Forests are measured by distance, trees by spacing, paths by continuity. In the winter of 1998, deep inside Denali National Park, Alaska, those measurements stopped agreeing with reality. This is not a story about something that hunts. It is about something that measures, and what happens when you are included in the calculation. Denali National Park is vast enough to distort perception, even under normal circumstances. Distances feel deceptive. Horizons bend subtly. Sound behaves as if filtered through intention rather than physics. Rangers assigned to the interior zones learn early that Denali does not respond to human presence. It tolerates it. Winter amplifies this tolerance into something closer to scrutiny. Snow absorbs sound with unnatural efficiency. Footsteps vanish mid-stride. Radio chatter occasionally cuts out without interference. Not static. Not distortion. Silence. Absolute and immediate. Veteran rangers describe moments when wind simply stops. No graduacom. No transition. 1 second it exists. The next, it does not. As if the forest revoked permission. By early January of 1998, internal environmental monitoring systems flagged multiple nights as acoustically compromised. These were not storms, not temperature drops, not animal migrations. They were absences. The affected region lay north of all mapped tourist infrastructure, deep within old-growth spruce and pine corridors. Some trees in that zone predated modern surveying techniques. Trail data was incomplete, based on estimates and ranger memory rather than precise instrumentation. Satellite imagery showed uniform density. Elevation maps aligned correctly. No caves. No sinkholes. No structures. Ground-level sensors disagreed. Temperature gradients shifted independently of altitude. Wildlife paths curved around unseen boundaries. Birds avoided entire corridors without apparent cause. Electromagnetic fluctuations appeared as sharp pulses, lasting 2 to 3 seconds, then vanishing completely. No alarm was triggered, because the data did not suggest danger. It suggested organization. Caleb Monroe trusted patterns. 17 years in, Denali had taught him that panic kills faster than cold, and imagination faster than isolation. He believed in maps, GPS coordinates, and measurable ground truth. On January 14, 1998, his patrol followed an interior maintenance trail used primarily for sensor access. The route was simple, linear and familiar. His 20 to 10 radio check-in confirmed normal conditions. At 0:03, he checked in again. No distress. No urgency, but out of order. When Monroe returned at 2:47, he showed no signs of hypothermia or confusion. His vitals were stable. His speech was coherent. His memory was not. "I don't remember leaving the trail," he said. "I don't remember coming back." GPS data showed a lateral deviation of 612 meters into forest density, rated non-navigable during winter. Monroe did not argue the data. He argued the implication. "That trail doesn't exist," he said quietly. "Not like that." Over the following weeks, 5 more rangers reported temporal irregularities. Each case differed in duration and location. None involved fear. None described pursuit. What united them was geometry. Trees appeared farther apart. Snowfields stretched beyond expected scale. Walkenfelt either too short or too long. One ranger described counting steps that didn't match distance. Another reported reaching landmarks sooner than physically possible. The same sentence appeared repeatedly in written logs. I was where I should be. Then I wasn't. Then it was again. On February 3rd, an automated wildlife camera activated without a motion trigger. 3 images, 11 seconds. A normal forest clearing. except for the vertical presence among the trees. Too narrow, proportions inconsistent with scale reference. Between frames, the figure did not move. The distance changed. Each image placed it closer without thermal shift, snow, displacement, or motion blur. 2 reflective points appeared only in infrared. Aegis at 3:18. On February 22nd, radar installations across southern Alaska registered a spatial anomaly above the Denali interior. It did not move. It did not transmit. It did not reflect radar normally. It occupied space incorrectly. NORAD classified the event as an atmospheric irregularity and authorized passive observation. 2 F-22 Raptors were redirected from routine patrol. Active radar was disabled. Optical and infrared systems only. Captain Elias Warren flew lead. When sensor lock occurred, Warren felt immediate unease. It wasn't hot, he later stated. It wasn't cold. It was present. Infrared footage showed a vertical distortion among the trees. Not heat, not cold. A difference in definition, as if the environment around the figure was recalculating itself. Auto-tracking systems failed repeatedly. The software could not determine motion vector or velocity, because the object wasn't moving. The terrain was... Ontegruan Rangers reported immediate silence following the flyover. No wind, no wildlife, no ambient, no easy. One log entry contained only one sentence. The forest is holding its breath. On March 9, Ranger Tamasi failed to return from patrol. His radio transmitted static for 40 minutes. Search teams found depressions in the snow, evenly spaced, elongated. Not footprints. Absences. Ivy was found standing upright, eyes open, breathing steady, facing the tree line. When asked what he was doing, he answered calmly, "It's my turn to wait." He remembered everything. The trail ending, the space widening, the certainty of being observed, not as prey, not as threat. As referenced, he said, like a ruler, ora, mir. The area was sealed days later. Logs redacted, footage reclassified. One unsigned memo survived. Entity exhibits no aggression. Behavior consistent with spatial observation or calibration. Recommend non-interference. Archive closure. Denali reopened months later. Trails were rerouted. Names changed. Certain paths no longer aligned with older maps. Some coordinates were quietly removed from public databases. Rangers stopped patrolling that zone at night. Not because of fear, because those who encountered the entity agreed on one thing. It does not move when it is observed. It moves when observation ends. Even now, hikers report moments when the forest feels wrong. Too white, too quiet, as if something stands just out of sight, not hiding, not hunting, but measuring, waiting for the space between you and the trees to change. Internal evaluation. Addedam 742. -C. This assessment was compiled 17 years after the initial Denali event, following a routine audit of archived spatial anomaly cases. Cross-referencing case file number 742 with unrelated incident. Reports from boreal forests in Canada, Siberia, and northern Scandinavia revealed a consistent variable. In every location, witnesses described the same sensation. Distance behaving incorrectly. The phenomenon does not present as an entity in the traditional sense. No predatory behavior, no territorial defense, no communicative attempts. Instead, it manifests as a spatial inconsistency with observational awareness. Further analysis suggests the figure observed in Denali may not be a life form. It may be an interface. Censored data indicates that the anomaly reacts only when noticed, not by moving, but by altering the relationship between observer and environment. This implies the phenomenon does not travel through space. It defines Italiano. One unresolved data point remains. During the February 22, 1998 flyover, F-22 sensor logs recorded a brief recursive anomaly, a moment where the aircraft appeared, for less than 1 second, to exist at two slightly different distances from the ground simultaneously. The pilots did not perceive this. The systems did. The anomaly corrected itself immediately after the jets passed beyond visual range. Final recommendation was unanimous. No engagement, no provocation, no further measurement. Because the last line of the report states, if observation alters distance, then distance is the mechanism, not the entity. And the final note, added in handwriting, reads, we are not being watched. We are being positioned. End of file. Public statement, sanitized release. Department of Environmental Oversight. Joint statement, February 2016. Recent online discussions referencing an alleged Addendum 742C related to historical environmental monitoring activity within Denali National Park are inaccurate and misleading. There is no evidence supporting claims of unidentified entities, spatial anomalies, or military involvement beyond standard airspace training operations. Any perceived inconsistencies in archived ranger testimonies are consistent with environmental stress, isolation effects, seasonal disorientation, and retrospective narrative contamination. Claims involving altered spatial perception, aircraft sensor anomalies, or classified memoranda are the result of misinterpretation of incomplete datasets and fictional reconstruction. No restricted addenda exist beyond the publicly released environmental reports. Denali National Park remains safe for visitors. No areas are restricted beyond standard conservation protocols. There is no ongoing monitoring related to this matter. This statement concludes the issue.